Another great feature we've added is the optional but highly recommended survey tool. Surveys give you incredible access to market intelligence data. They can be created and launched together with your Adcquire campaigns. Think of surveys as an additional opportunity to ask the consumer questions that can be beneficial to your R&D teams. In our example, I can ask the consumer if they like that specific flavor of chocolate, or if they would be interested in a new flavor. I can also ask them to rate from a selection of new flavors, or even create an open-ended question where they can suggest their own. Just like Grab events, you can generate reports that will give you comprehensive data about the participants and how they answered the questions. So for example, you can discover that the majority of people from one geographic location preferred the dark chocolate flavor, and a majority of people from another geographic location preferred caramel chocolate. There's really no limit to the information you can gather. With the knowledge acquired, you can perhaps create a new product line and launch it, knowing that there is a large sample group that had already given you feedback on their preference that could be very crucial to the product launch. One thing you should remember about surveys is that they can only be distributed to people who had already completed the Grab event and interacted with your product. This way you can be certain they've had physical connection to your brand instead of random participation like online surveys. So think of it as a quasi-control group. Now, involving people in surveys create a great opportunity to let them express themselves about what they thought about your product. So not only they get rewarded for their participation, but they also have a place to give you feedback. Once the user completes a Grab event for a campaign that has a survey attached to it, the user will then be informed that they have a survey waiting for them. They can choose to ignore the survey or to participate in it in a later time. Of course, it's beneficial for them to participate as they've already interacted with the product and will be rewarded more for their participation. Let me show you how easy it is to set up a survey. Okay, thank you for joining us on a second tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll find out how to create surveys. So I'm on a campaigns page and I'll just click on our Vitalis campaign. And right under budget settings, we're exactly where we set up the quick quiz, we can set up the survey. So I already created one question in a test form of question, and I'll talk a bit about the different types of questions. So to add a new question, just click on add. Okay, so we have here the question input box, and we can select different type of questions. So I already prepared a list here of different questions. So the first one is going to be this one. From the list below, what is your favorite chocolate flavor? So I'm going to put it right here. And we have a multiple choice. I'm going to make sure that's selected. And I will copy paste these. Okay, I've copy pasted all of them. Just so you know, if you want to add more answers, just click on that little button. And yeah, you can add more answers. You could also include an other field that will allow them to add their own answer. So let's move to the second question, or the third. The third one is going to be a multiple selection. So we want to make sure that people have some type of different input with why they like vitamins in our case. So the question asks, when thinking about vitamins, which two attributes of the following are most important to you? So I'm going to create a new question, copy paste, and make sure that this one is multiple selection. Okay, we've completed that. I can save our new questions. Now we have those ready. But before we continue, let's add one more question. I'd like to show you how to do a Likert scale. So we have one question right here that asks, how likely are you to purchase vitamin that is in the form of a hard candy? So for example, we already have a chocolate bar or chocolate snack that has vitamins in it. What if you wanted to make a hard candy? So we want to see how many people are going to be opposing or would like to see this kind of product. So I'm going to add that question and make sure it's Likert scale. And we can set up the minimum and maximum values. So the minimum value would be extremely likely. And the maximum value. Okay. Now when we save those, we can see a preview that says extremely unlikely, very likely. Just to note that the test question, those are very useful if you want to make sure that only the people that have selected one answer above another, that we make sure that we get the information from them and not the other people. So you could have these type of test questions just to make your or to narrow your information about the market intelligence that you're going to get from the consumers. Okay, now that we have those ready, go back to my campaigns. So actually, it's best to go to the settings, and then we're back to the campaign management. Now we have to do is create or edit the value that we would like to pay for or reward the people for participating in this survey. So I'm going to put it 25 cents. It could be anything you want. It could be even 26. Okay. Now we have the CPS ready. We want to arm it. We want to make sure that the campaign is activated, or sorry, the survey is activated when we activate the campaign. One thing you need to remember is that you could always, even when the campaign is live, you could always deactivate the survey. So, for example, you said you received enough information, enough people participate in the survey, but you still want people to grab your product and see the advertisement. So you can deactivate it later. Okay, so we're activating it now. We're arming it. It's ready to go. The next process is going to be activating it. So let's talk a bit about that and activate a campaign.